Texas versus Oklahoma, the preview brought to you by the I-80 Boys College Football Podcast. Chris, we're taking a look at this one, Texas. Okay, I'll start us off with Texas here. To me, look, this year's version of the Red River rivalry is going to be just as special as ever. I know both teams are coming off a bye, and they got a chance to get healthy, and both of them need it, especially Oklahoma. But look, Texas is looking for revenge from last year. Are they going to get it? That's the question everybody has right now. Every time these two teams get together, you got to throw out the record because, it's a dogfight. Last year, Oklahoma wasn't really, predicted to do a whole lot. They somehow beat Texas. It was a really hyped up game. I thought it was a pretty good game. Going into this year, I think you almost have to throw the records out and understand this can be something special just watching it. Quinn Ewers, right? That's the big question mark for Texas. They're saying he's going to be back. But, Chris, I have a stat for you. Okay. Arch Manning has over 200 more passing yards and one more touchdown than Ewers does. And he's thrown the ball one less time than Ewers has. That's insane. Look, I think either way, this passing attack is special. And, OU ranks 77th in passing yards allowed. So look for guys like Isaiah Bond, Ryan Wingo, and Matthew Golden to go off in this one. To me, the rushing attack's been okay, right? We know Texas coming into this year had some injuries in the running back room. Look, I think Texas is one of those kind of teams that they can throw the football. They don't really have to lean super heavy on the run game. And they kind of have a platoon of backfield there. To me, the guy to look for is Jaden Blue. He's the lead back. Gibson and Wisner, they pick up the slack where they're needed. Chris, I'm just going to say it. You'll touch on it more here. Oklahoma's been terrible on offense this year. Texas is ranked 6th in total defense. Now, I think a lot of that has to do with who they've played. Both these teams going forward are getting ready to get into SEC play, so that's probably going to change. But let's be honest. Like I said, Texas ranked 6th in total defense this year. A lot of that has to do, for me, and I know we're not talking about Oklahoma here. A lot of that for Oklahoma is the injuries, and you'll touch more on that. I think that, whoever they start, and I'm assuming it's going to be the Jackson Arnold's not going to be the starter here. It's going to be the Hawkins kids, which I think kind of for Texas can be a little bit challenging. We're going to see. I think he can kind of extend, make some more things kind of happen there with his legs. He's looked pretty good. For me on Texas, just play sound fundamental football. Don't get gashed for, 400 yards passing in this one, and I think they should be okay. So with that being said, Chris, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, let's talk about Oklahoma here. Look, 4-1, so the record isn't bad. Win over Temple, Houston, Tulane. They had the loss to Tennessee, and then they obviously beat Auburn, and I think Auburn kind of gifted it. Oklahoma win there. Christian, we talked about that game a little bit the other week. Either way, it was a really good football game. But offensively, you touched on it, man. They are struggling this year, and it's really no surprise to me. I kind of said this in the offseason. They're only scoring 28 points per game right now. That's 69th in the country. Even worse, though, total offense is 121st. That's bad. Now, I know they played some solid teams there at the end. I mentioned Tennessee and Auburn both have pretty damn good defenses. I get that. But this is Oklahoma we're talking about here. The other thing, you talked about the quarterback situation here. I believe it's going to be Michael Hawkins starting. I think he gives them the best option to win personally. I've never been a big Jackson Arnold fan. Some of that had to do with his offensive line, and I'll talk about that. They're banged up there. But Hawkins, man, he played the game against Auburn. He was 10 of 15, and he's not going to kill you through the air. He's not. He only threw for 161 yards. Kid's tough, though. Hell of a runner. He had 69 yards in the ground in that game. And he's a big play waiting to happen. He really is. Now, at running back, and this is where I'm really surprised with Oklahoma this year. They've struggled to run the ball as well. Javonte Barnes, he's their leading rusher with 57 carries. He's only got 200 yards on the year. It's only 3.4 yards per carry. You got to be well north of that if you want to be considered a lead as far as running the ball. And then at wide receiver, you touched on the injuries. They've been super banged up. I know their big guy, Deion Burks. He's supposed to be the guy. They all, as a unit, man, got to collectively step up and help Hawkins out. And a lot of this, honestly, not to rattle on with the offense, is the offensive line. They have struggled. It was a question mark going into this season. It's still a question mark right now, in my opinion, as far as the O-line goes for Oklahoma. Now, defensively, this is the other side of the ball where they're about totally the opposite. They're only giving up 16 points per game. That's 19th best in the nation. 42nd in total defense, 27th against the run, and 75th against the pass. So a little vulnerable against the pass. And then also what's been carrying this defense is the front seven. They're fifth in the country, Christian, fifth with 19 sacks this year. So Oklahoma can get after the quarterback. They're going to have to rely on the defense in this one. And let's be honest, this will be the best offense they face so far this year. I think even honestly over Tennessee, to be completely honest with you. I know Tennessee's red hot on offense. We'll talk about them another day in that loss to Arkansas. But my prediction for this game, man, I like I said, I don't want to bag on Oklahoma here, but you can throw the records out. Yes, you can. I totally agree with it. This has been a great rivalry for years. I know it's now finally played in the SEC. I just don't see any way Oklahoma can get to 30 points in this game to win this game because they're going to have to. I truly believe that no matter who's the quarterback for Texas, they can put up numbers in a hurry. You mentioned Texas's defense is pretty stout as well. I think Oklahoma is going to struggle to move the ball in this one. I have Texas 34, Oklahoma 17.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. We don't really talk about the scores there. I've got Texas 27, Oklahoma 17. And I want to say this. I know, obviously, I picked Texas to say it. Hopefully, if you're a Texas fan and you watch this far, I know you obviously are going to go back and say, well, what is he talking about? It almost seems like he's trying to hype Oklahoma up. No, I mean, it's a rivalry game. I mean, to me, Oklahoma is going to be by far the best team that Texas has played up until this point. Sometimes when that happens and you go into a rivalry game like this, crazy things can happen. Now, the game isn't an 11 o'clock kickoff. Thank God. It's on ABC, so it's not on Fox and all that shit we talk about. Love to see this game eventually played at like nighttime. That would be kind of cool to see that. But yeah, I just think, like I said, I think Texas wins, but I think it'll be a competitive game probably for about a half or so, and then people are going to be like, what the hell's going on here?